I was in the hospital on Friday because I've had spinal meningitis 3 times in my lifetime. So it is a concern because it can flare up. It is viral meningitis, but it was pretty scary and pretty painful each time it happened. And so I was in a lot of pain this week from I was probably dancing more than I should, or I might have something might have gone into spasm. So I was like, okay, I was taking my Epsom salt baths and I was doing what I needed to do. But I woke up on Friday morning with such severe spinal pain and a massive headache, and I couldn't put my chin down, which was one of the number one signs of meningitis. If you can't put your chin down without screaming pain. And so I thought, oh no, I got to go to the hospital. So made arrangements to have other parents pick up the kids and take care of them until, my ex could get them. So they knew what was going on and their dad let them know what was going on. I was in the hospital for hours and hours. And then I was finally released. Luckily, the CAT scan didn't show any meningitis. I was given like muscle relaxers, probably spasms or a disc related issue. So I get home that night and I'm lying in bed and I was like, huh, I haven't heard from anybody, Then finally, Willow sends a text. She says, Mommy, are you there? Can you text me, please? Right before I went to write back, she said, can you send me my Roblox in login? Because I'm with my friends and we want to play a game. And I was like, okay. So, I sent it to her. Then shortly after that, I get a text from Summer. Mom, she said, can I call you? And I was like, yeah, oh my gosh, she's worried about me. Pick up the phone. She's like, hi. I said, hi. She said, so, I was feeling a little bad today because I gave one of my teachers some attitude on Thursday. And I've been thinking about it a lot. And I'm just not really sure what to do. I feel bad. I feel guilty about it. And I was like, so I gave her advice.
You're
And
like, I can barely move my head. I
I
can't move my
know.
chin to my neck.
And they're just like, Mom, I need mom right now. I
I
think maybe at the end of the conversation with my older one, she was like, oh, yeah. How are you feeling? Like it was like one of those moments where I was like, oh, yeah, I'm mom.
Yeah, and all the things. I mean,
And
emotional coach and password keeper.
yes.
You got like IVs in your arm, just like to
Yeah.
yeah,
She's like, let me find the Roblox password.
Yeah.
oxygen mask, just like, hold on, let me take it off.
Recently, Willow went to a friend's house and they watched Stranger Things. So this is a new step for us in terms of like scary movies. Not, I mean, Stranger Things has got its scary moments, but she has approached it so well. Like she's gotten obsessed with looking at all of the YouTube behind the scenes videos and like getting to know the cast. And she really understands that they're actors and that this is just a show. And so we watch it together. And so many times I'm like, oh, she's like, mom, it's just a movie. It's fine. It's fine. Or she'll be like, can I give you a spoiler so that you don't get scared? And I'll be like, sure. And we also started watching my brother-in-law is starring in Resident Alien, which is quite a funny show. It is a little bit scary at times, but there's like a lot of like sex stuff in there. And so it's just like, there they are, they're watching at one point, their uncle is like making out with this woman, and they were like, oh, and then, and then they were like, how did Auntie Kay feel about this? I was like, okay, it's just like a scene that we're just going to move on from. And but there's some scenes in there where the alien, has sex for the first time, and the girls were like, "Ah!" They put like the blankets over them. They were just like, not only is it yucky to watch for them, but it's their uncle, So and I was like,
That is so funny. That's like next level though. Like when it's like family members, like a famous actor, and then your nieces or what, like that's a whole different thing.
it is when they were little, the Disney movies, they didn't quite get it, but watching
Yeah.
this series and Willow said, when I'm watching it, like whenever I watch Uncle Alan in movies, she's like, he's not my uncle. Like he's actually the character. So it was like such a compliment to him. So he was really flattered by that.
That's a huge compliment for him. The person who knows me super well, understands I'm someone else at that moment.
Yeah, it
It's really
is.
exciting.
The Stranger Things, I'm glad that you said that because I think we were going to start that. I watched the first season. I'm like super not caught up, but like that I know Jess, like your kids watched it, right? And then the
Yeah.
show on Broadway right now is like I still have not gotten in to see it,
The
but like
show on Broadway, you can watch a YouTube about it. It looks
uh,
amazing.
Cool.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
supposed to be incredible. Like I know one of the associates on it who I saw right before they opened, and she was telling me all about it. Was like, you have to get in and see it. So my whole thought was like, if I get the show onto them, and then we can go, and on Broadway. But I got to. I was just like a little like nervous about it for myself because again, I can't handle it anymore.
Stranger
It-
Things is that it
no,
has
but
that like 1980s Amblin-esque
totally,
element, which
totally.
makes it so much more palatable. Think about it from the perspective of like somebody made this and this
Mhm.
was they had an idea and then they had a fear and then they made a story, but they made it about people they love.
You say that to the kids?
Oh yeah, well I mean they've seen people be stabbed while I'm editing something. So
Oh my God, they're like, again, mom, with the stabbing. I will
yes.
say though, like this is really weird though. I do love the screams. Like I am a huge Scream fan. I love the screams because I feel like it does much like Stranger Things has that warmth to it because it feels very Spielbergy. I feel like Scream is so funny and it has this like campiness to it. So I feel like that makes it like not real or okay. Somehow never taps into my level of anxiety, but I love the screams. And the boys have actually seen like Scream 3. I think we were on vacation one time, like last year or something, and they like it was on the TV and I just let it rip. I was like, you go ahead. Like they loved it because it doesn't feel real in a way, right? It feels like a parody. So it's lighthearted in a way.
Yeah, it's funny.
Funny. I love the
Yeah.
scream.
And the meta, that element of it, it's like self-reflective also helps because it's analyzing what's occurring in the movie. That makes it more palatable too.
Right. Like, yeah, that's an interesting spin because then it's almost like they're part of it with you. It doesn't feel like you're watching something happen to someone.
Yeah. That's what's so great about Stranger Things too, is they do have those self-reflective kind of jokes also. Yeah, we finished all of Stranger Things and it was scary. I mean, there was a point where my youngest, we had to pause it for a minute because there's a character later on that's very scary and gross because they do know about movies so much. They see every phase of something being made,
Right.
I guess.
Yeah,
But
Harry
that's what I like about Willow watching. Maybe Shelly, you should watch some YouTubes about like the making of. Like you see the guy in the scary, terrifying makeup making jokes, and they're like,
Yeah. It's funny that you say that because we used to say, gosh, I don't remember which kid it was, but somebody was having like visions of like a scary monster at night, right? That whole thing. I remember doing a deep dive into like how do you talk to your kids about scary monsters in their room. I remember like telling, I think it was my younger one saying like imagine him being really silly, like what he looks like, and then imagine him doing something really silly or really funny. And then we like wrote what it is that he could do, like slip on a banana peel or like walk in with just his underwear on, like that kind of thing that makes it silly and funny. I don't remember that working very well. But then also there was like other techniques I remember trying, like give it a name, like give it like a name and like where he comes from or where she comes from or whatever. Personalizing it more, thinking about maybe that they're not coming there to like scare you, but they're coming there to like see if you have any snacks. Like,
Doritos,
yeah,
Cheetos.
that's right. Goldfish coming in for everything, like that kind of thing that makes it more relatable. What makes this, thing that you feel that you're seeing a little bit more relatable, not being so afraid of it, being more curious about it, I guess.
Oh my gosh. Jessica, I wanted to ask you, you said something that really, really resonated with me. And I just felt like I would love for you to share it with our listeners and perhaps even expand on it a little bit. Because I had messaged you uh, when I was having a difficult day and I was feeling a lot of pain and sadness and I was struggling. And you said the most beautiful thing. You were saying, I'm teaching my kids to sit with their pain. And you talked about how you ask them to hold their bellies and rock back and forth and just feel the pain so that it can be released. And it just warmed my heart so much. And I actually did what you suggested. And, I did cry and I rocked back and forth. And I was like, this is something that I would love to share with my babies. So can you just expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, thank you. Oh, I'm so glad it worked. I'm so glad it worked. Oh, yeah. I can't take responsibility for coming up with that because it was actually a kindergarten teacher who taught me, who said that Ara had to learn how to self soothe and that, like, that's a big part of kindergarten and that they aren't always taught that. And so she tries to leave them with this knowledge about how to self soothe and hold. Like, if you need a hug and you don't have anybody to give you a hug, which is a really hard thing to do as a kindergartner and as an adult, by the way, sometimes I have to, like, in the car usually, right? When you're by yourself and you're going places and it's like, oh, I feel that wave of too much, too much. Yeah, putting your hands around your lower belly and then squeezing. You can actually feel that when you do that. It's like sitting with your pain, and it happens usually at night because at night we feel the waves of sadness, the waves of regret. It's all of a sudden all the things that we can't solve, they come to us. And so we have to allow the fear to come into you, right? Allow the fear to be there. Allow the sadness. Allow the sadness to be there. And then to wash through you, to move through you. So you don't have to hold on to it. This is an emotion that I am not happy about. This doesn't feel good. And then the acknowledging that time that you're taking to acknowledge the existence of this thing that's painful. I will embrace it and I'm going to let it go. And I will allow it to flow through me. I allow the pain to flow through me to serve its purpose, to awaken me to what I need, to allow me to grow. And then I'm going to let it go, transcend. I can transform. If I feel anger, I feel the anger. Ooh, that makes me mad. Now it's helplessness. That helplessness makes me upset. What other parts make me upset? You hold it in your mind, you say it exists, and then you let it go through you and you embrace the next emotion. Pull your thoughts out of your mind, like Dumbledore pulling the little pieces of thoughts out of his memories, out of his mind, and you place them in a box, and the box is of your own design. Is it a cardboard box? Is it a metal box? Is it a jeweled box? Mine's a cardboard box. And I pull the thoughts out and I place them in the box. And then I close. Oh, wait, there's another one. Wait, I got to pull that out and put it in the box. And then I close the box, put the lid on the box. Then I take the box and I walk it across the room and I walk it up the ladder. And then I put the box on a shelf and I take the Sharpie that's up there and I write tomorrow on the box. And then I push the box back. And then I climb back down the ladder and I walk back across the room. And then I lay down in bed and I pull my covers up and I get all cuddly and safe. Repeat and repeat and repeat until your brain softens.
I love
All this back to school anxiety that kids might have, this is seems like it would be extremely helpful. Exercises to do before bed or before the night before school or It's beautiful, Jess.
Creative Mamas Unplugged is produced by Breatheasy Productions. If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to give my mama 5 stars and keep coming back. Thanks to us kids, there are plenty of stories to tell, and you are not alone.
We are inspired by you. Thank you for joining our Creative Mamas community. Please give us a 5-star rating, leave a comment, support Creative Mamas Unplugged on Patreon to get your name in the credits, receive extra content, and earn some fun prizes. With this, we can keep creating, uplifting, and growing this incredible community together. We love you so much. Applause!